The story about open data, though, and about data, especially as a tool of policymaking and of government, is that what it fundamentally does is it creates a conversation between business and citizens around how to solve problems. It's about engaging people. So when British Columbia puts out its data and Open Data BC, the effort of a variety of nonprofits and individuals in BC use that data. What they're fundamentally doing is putting a lot of eyeballs together on a problem that would not otherwise have gotten attention, right? So it's about the collaboration between business and government. And what we heard a lot of earlier today was that it's not going to be about the technology. It's not how quantum and big your computing is. It's about getting more eyeballs together to focus on the problem that you're trying to solve that's ultimately going to lead to the better solutions. So it's Open 17, a competition that's now being run by a variety of different groups, including one.org and the Center for Citizen Cyberscience out of Geneva, that's trying to take the Millennium Development Goals, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and crowdsource the development of solutions to those approaches, trying to realize that these are not solutions that will only be created by government from the top down, but by all of us from the bottom up, institutions and individuals working together to solve our hardest problems enabled by data. The data is only going to become more accessible and more available with policy drivers, with the ability for us to have access to that data, to share it in ways that are respectful of personal privacy and civil liberties on the one hand, but that also realize the importance of making that data available in comprehensive and in accelerated formats to allow people to make use of it. And to make use of it for a variety of different purposes, as we can see. Whether it's about driving economic growth, whether it's about enabling personal choice or making government work better, or really just enabling the conversation between government and citizens, open data combined with the technologies of big data has a lot of potential value to offer. Value that we still have to understand, and there is work just beginning to try to understand what is actually the impact, not 10 years from now, not 5 years from now, but for today, to driving and investing in the availability of data from government. But that's only part of the story. Part of the way that we solve the problems of our age is not just by sharing data from government, it's also making more available the data that companies hold, as well as individuals hold, that we can make use of. So data collaboratives is the term that we frequently like to use. Some people call it corporate data philanthropy. For when companies make data available and share it with researchers, with government, in order that we can solve the challenges of our age. And we're seeing lots of examples of the ways in which these sharing relationships are beginning to emerge, particularly in the humanitarian space, in the climate change space, where the data that we need is not going to be collected only by government, but may be collected, yes, by the individual citizen scientists on the ground, but also by the companies who collect that data for their own business purposes, but for which there is no impediment to them making that data available to all of us for the larger social good. So data is a big piece of it. Data from companies, data from government, data from you and me that we collect on our Fitbits, on our watches, that are going to help us create a healthier, more sustainable, better society. But that's half the story with regard to technology and how it's going to improve government and strengthen democracy. The other half of this story is really about us. And it's about the tools of collective intelligence and communication that allow us to help make government smarter and more effective.